Completion of this program does not deem you competent or qualified to operate an aerial work platform. As per OSHA, your employer must ensure your competency to operate an aerial work platform. This aerial work platform safety video covers guidance that applies to many types of aerial work platforms. In no way does this safety video cover every type of situation or hazard that may be encountered when operating aerial work platforms. This training program shall not be used as a sole source of safety training. Always refer to the operator's manual of the specific make and model you are operating for complete safety rules and operating instructions. This safety video is intended to be used in conjunction with the complete aerial work platform operator safety training program, which includes this video, a safety guide, a written theory test, and hands-on practical evaluation. Regardless of your experience as an operator, safety is the most important aspect of operating your machine every day. As an operator, good judgment, control, and caution will determine the safety of you and your coworkers. This safety training class is designed to help you know and understand your responsibility as an operator, the hazards associated with operating this type of equipment, and help you identify and avoid these hazards.
Hi, my name is Jake Kidd. I'm a trainer with Sun State Equipment. Thank you for attending this safety training class today. Let me start with a question. Why are you here today? Here's why. Your employer and Sun State Equipment care greatly about your safety and the safety of all your coworkers, and we want to ensure each and every one of you goes home safely each day to your family.
Thanks, Jake. To ensure that we all do make it home safely, let's begin by letting you know the key points of this safety training video. Introduction to aerial work platform safety training, operator responsibilities, safely operating the aerial work platform, additional safety practices. This aerial work platform safety video covers guidance that applies to many types of aerial work platforms. In no way will this video cover every type of situation or hazard you may encounter when operating these types of machines. As an operator, you are required to familiarize yourself with any aerial work platform you may be asked to operate. Here's an overview of the aerial work platform safety training class and what will be expected of you. Watch this aerial work platform safety training video. There will be quizzes within the video to help you retain important information. Your qualified instructor will review some of the key points from the handbook you received at the beginning of class. You will take an aerial work platform theory test on the material covered in the video. Your qualified instructor will grade the theory test to ensure a passing grade. If passed, you will proceed to the aerial work platform practical test. Under the direction of a qualified person, your trainer, the trainee shall operate the aerial work platform for a sufficient period of time to demonstrate proficiency in the actual operation of the aerial work platform. OSHA defines a qualified person as one who, by possession of a recognized degree, certificate, or professional standing, or by extensive knowledge, training, and experience, has successfully demonstrated his or her ability to solve or resolve problems related to the subject matter, the work, or the project. If you pass the practical test, you will be issued a certificate of completion as temporary proof of training until your permanent wallet card is sent to your employer. Sadly, accidents occur far too often with aerial work platforms. According to the Department of Labor, there are close to 30,000 serious injuries and over 40 fatalities due to aerial work platform accidents reported each year. Nearly 80% of these accidents happen at construction and industrial workplaces. According to industry safety experts, most accidents were caused by some form of operator error. These same safety experts agree that the #1 factor in preventing aerial work platform accidents is proper safety training. The most common types of aerial work platform accidents are electrocution, falls, tip-overs, crushed or caught in between. Collision or struck by or against. Due to this high number of serious and fatal aerial work platform accidents, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, or OSHA, established a regulation for aerial work platform safety in 1974. This regulation defines what the content of training needs to be, how to implement a training program, and who is responsible for training.
And it's got some key points in it.
3 very important points to know and understand directly from the OSHA regulation that impacts you and your employer are: only authorized persons shall operate an aerial lift. All employees who operate working platforms shall be trained. The employer shall certify that employees have been trained in operating and inspecting a working platform. In conjunction with OSHA, the American National Standards Institute, or ANSI, created standards and responsibilities for many people regarding aerial work platforms. These standards are in the form of a manual called the ANSI Manual of Responsibilities, and it communicates who these responsible parties are. They are written for each different classification of aerial work platform. So on every aerial work platform in the United States, OSHA requires the manufacturer's operator's manual and the ANSI Manual of Responsibilities are to be kept in the weather-resistant storage compartment. ANSI defines these responsible parties as the manufacturer. The manufacturer is a person or entity who makes, builds, or produces an aerial platform. The dealer and/or owner. The dealer and/or owner is a person who buys from a manufacturer or distributor and who generally sells, rents, and services aerial platforms. The user. The user is a person who has care, control, and custody of the aerial device. This person or entity may also be the employer of the operator, a dealer, employer, owner, lessor, lessee, or operator. The operator. The operator is a qualified person who controls the movement of an aerial platform. As an operator, no matter what type of aerial work platform you're directed to operate, you must do these 5 things before operation. 1. Locate, read, and understand the operator's manual. 2. Locate, read, and understand the ANSI Manual of Responsibilities. 3. Read, understand, and obey all safety decals. Failure to do this on every aerial work platform you may operate could result in serious injury or death. Some of these safety symbols and their meanings are: danger. These decals are colored red and means if the danger is not avoided, it will cause death or serious injury. Warning. These decals will be colored orange and means if the warning is not heeded, it will cause death or serious injury. Caution. These decals will be colored yellow and means if the precaution is not taken, it may cause minor or moderate injury. 4. Know and understand the location and function of all controls and levers of the aerial work platform. 5. Ensure all occupants of the aerial work platform wear appropriate personal protective equipment. With that said, aerial work platform safety is extremely important, and one of the primary goals of this training class is to help you identify and avoid the hazards with operating any type of aerial work platform so that you and your coworkers go home safely each night. The accident data communicates the reality of the risks and hazards surrounding aerial work platform use. OSHA and ANSI tell us that each operator must be trained, and within the ANSI Manuals of Responsibilities, they define 3 types of training, which are general training, familiarization, retraining. General training. ANSI states that only personnel who have received general instruction regarding inspection, application, and operation of aerial platforms, including recognition and avoidance of hazards associated with their operation, shall operate an aerial platform. Such items covered shall include, but not necessarily be limited, to the following issues and requirements. 1. The purpose and use of manuals. 2. The knowledge that the manuals are an integral part of the machine and must be stored in the weather-resistant compartment. 3. Performing a proper pre-start inspection. 4. Your responsibility associated with problems or malfunctions affecting the operation of the lift. 5. Factors affecting stability. 6. The purpose of decals and placards. 7. Performing a proper workplace inspection. 8. Safety rules and regulations. 9. Authorization to operate. 10. Operator warnings and instructions. 11. Operation of an aerial work platform directed by a qualified person in order to demonstrate proficiency.
And it's got some good key points in it.
Upon completion of this aerial work platform general training class, you will soon receive a wallet card as proof of training. This wallet type card will spell out the type of training, the entity that conducted the training, the name of the trainer, the date of training, and the name of the trainee. Once you receive your wallet card, you will notice an expiration date on it. Industry best practice suggests that every 5 years, an operator be retrained by going through a complete general training program again. As an operator, it's your responsibility to have your proof of training with you at all times and be able to present it to your employer, job site safety director, or OSHA inspector upon request. When properly completed, general training is the first step toward qualifying you as an operator to operate any like type of aerial work platform, as long as you're also familiarized with the controls and safety devices of the other like type equipment. Familiarization. Familiarization is to take place when an operator is directed to operate an aerial platform they're not familiar with. For example, as an operator, if you do not understand or are not familiar with all the controls, safety devices, and operating characteristics on a subsequently used piece of equipment, you may not know how to get the unit down in the event of engine failure or other such emergency. This is expressly why, in addition to initial general training of individuals, the need for familiarization with each piece of equipment is so critical and should be completed as soon as you receive an aerial work platform at your workplace that you may be unfamiliar with.
So that's off, and that's the chassis controls. The red button is out.
In fact, OSHA and ANSI define the criteria for familiarization both as an operator and as a user employer.
All righty. Hey, thanks.
All right,
Appreciate it.
thank you.
All righty. Bye-bye.
The operator. ANSI states, therefore, you as an operator shall receive instructions regarding the following items. 1. The location of the weather-resistant compartment for manual storage. 2. The purpose and function of all controls. 3. The safety devices and operating characteristics specific to the aerial work platform to be operated. The user-employer. The ANSI standard also states that a user shall permit only properly trained personnel to operate an aerial platform. The user shall ensure that before use, the operator is familiar with the model of the aerial platform to be operated, and specifically, 1. Knows where the weather-resistant compartment for manual storage is located. 2. Knows the operating and maintenance manuals supplied by the manufacturer are stored in the weather-resistant compartment and is familiar with the operating and safety manuals. 3. Understands all control functions, placards, and warnings. 4. Is aware of and understands all safety devices specific to the model aerial platform being used. Retraining. As mentioned earlier, industry best practice suggests that retraining shall occur every 5 years. The wallet card you receive for this general training will expire in 5 years from the date of this class, and you must retake general training at that time. However, ANSI says that the operator shall be retrained when so directed by the user, which may be your employer, based on the user's observation and evaluation of the operator. This means during the course of your work, if you're observed by your supervisor operating an aerial work platform in an unsafe manner, involved in an accident, or near-miss incident, industry best practice suggests you must be retrained immediately before being permitted to operate an aerial work platform again.
Inside, it's got tip-over points.
Whether it's general training, familiarization, or retraining, it's the responsibility of you and your employer to ensure all required training records are retained for 4 years as per ANSI standards, and that they remain current and complete. Aerial work platform classifications. Aerial work platforms come in many shapes and sizes and have many unique characteristics that allow them to perform many functions at your workplace. They're designed to position personnel, their tools, and necessary materials to elevated work locations. Many people of various occupations, such as contractors and industrial workers, use aerial work platforms daily. OSHA and ANSI have divided aerial work platforms into 4 different classifications, and they are ANSI A92.3 2006, Manually Propelled Elevating Aerial Platform. ANSI A92.6 2006, Self-Propelled Elevating Work Platform. ANSI A92.5 2006, Boom-Supported Elevating Work Platform. ANSI A92.2 2009, Vehicle-Mounted Elevating and Rotating Aerial Devices. Manually propelled elevating aerial platforms go up and down vertically only, also known as a push-around type lift. They are manually put into work position by physically pushing it into place. These types of aerial work platforms are powered by an electric motor. Self-propelled elevating work platforms go up and down vertically only, also known as a scissor-type lift. They have many different height variations and can be designed for indoor or outdoor use. Some of these types of aerial work platforms may offer a deck extension option in order to increase the operator's horizontal position. They can be powered electrically, by gas, diesel, or propane. Boom-supported elevating work platforms offer the most variety. Also known as a boom lift, they have many different height variations and can be designed for indoor or outdoor use. Some of these types of aerial work platforms telescope out and up only, while others articulate, giving them the ability to go up and over obstructions. They can be powered electrically, by gas, diesel, or propane. Vehicle-mounted elevating and rotating aerial devices are boom lifts that are either truck or trailer mounted and placed into position. They have many height variations and can be designed for indoor or outdoor use. A truck-mounted boom is normally seen in the utility or landscape industry, while trailer-mounted booms are commonly used in the general maintenance fields. In this safety training program, we will concentrate on general operating characteristics, along with identifying and avoiding hazards associated with all classifications of aerial work platforms. Before we move on to your first quiz, let's review some of the primary objectives that we discussed in this first section. First, we talked about the most common types of aerial work platform accidents and the importance and need for proper aerial work platform safety training. Next, we learned the OSHA regulations regarding aerial work platform safety and training. We also learned about the ANSI manuals of responsibilities and how they communicate to responsible parties who manufacture, sell, rent, use, and operate aerial work platforms. We also learned the importance of aerial work platform familiarization and that prior to your operation, you must locate, read, and understand the operator's manual, obey all safety decals, and know the meaning of the danger, warning, and caution symbols. You must also know and understand the location and function of all controls of the specific aerial work platform you are operating. And as an operator, you must ensure each occupant is wearing the proper PPE. Next, we define the 3 types of training that an operator is required to have, and that the employer shall permit only properly trained personnel to operate a lift. The 3 types of training are general training, familiarization, and retraining. Last, we spoke of the 4 classifications of aerial work platforms: manually propelled elevating aerial platform, self-propelled elevating work platform, boom-supported elevating work platform, and vehicle-mounted elevating and rotating aerial devices. Now, let's move on to the first quiz. per ANSI standards and is lined out in the manufacturer's operator's manual. Before use, you as an operator must perform certain inspections on a daily basis and before each shift. These inspections are a workplace inspection, a pre-start inspection. Some manufacturers' operators' manuals may also refer to this as a pre-operation inspection or pre-use inspection, and a function test. Workplace inspection. Your workplace is busy with other moving vehicles, machinery, and coworkers. This constant activity presents potential risks and hazards. A workplace inspection will assist in selecting the proper type of aerial work platform to perform your task while working at height. As stated by ANSI, before the aerial platform is used and during use, the operator shall check the area in which the aerial platform is to be used for possible hazards. In doing so, you may avoid serious accident or injury. The possible hazards to look for are, but not limited to: 1. Drop-offs or holes, including those possibly concealed by ice, water, or mud. 2. Slopes. 3. Bumps and floor obstructions. 4. Debris. 5. Overhead obstructions and electrical conductors. And one of the most important overhead obstructions to inspect and avoid are power lines. Please know that most aerial work platforms are not insulated against electric shock. Extreme caution, intelligence, and common sense must be used if you must work near any energized power lines. A safe distance must be maintained from power lines based on their voltage rating in accordance with governmental and workplace regulations. Industry safety experts have created a minimum safe approach distance chart to use as a quick reference when you must work near energized power lines. The chart is found in the operator's manual of the specific aerial work platform you may be operating. 6. Hazardous locations and atmospheres. 7. Inadequate surface and support to withstand all load forces imposed by the aerial platform in all operating configurations. Unless you have approval from the manufacturer, you must not operate an aerial work platform from a position on a floating vessel, truck, trailer, or rail car. 8. Wind and weather conditions. It is imperative to know and understand how weather can affect safe aerial work platform use. Some of the hazards to be aware of are slippery platform when wet from rain, ice, or snow. Soft, muddy ground which does not support the weight of an aerial work platform. Lightning storms. Most aerial work platforms are not insulated from electricity. And wind. Strong winds have been a factor for many aerial work platform tipovers. You must know and understand the maximum allowable wind speed rating for the specific lift you're operating. This important information is found in the operator's manual. It's important to understand that the maximum allowable wind speed rating is measured from the maximum platform height of the aerial work platform. It's also very important to understand that the wind speed at ground level can be vastly different from the wind speed of an elevated aerial work platform. The most accurate tool to measure wind speed is an anemometer. This tool measures the wind speed precisely at the platform height where you're working. For those who regularly work at height on aerial work platforms, the anemometer is a great tool to ensure you operate within the manufacturer's rated wind speed for the specific aerial work platform you're operating. If it's a windy day, don't take a chance. In addition, there are times when unmanned aerial work platforms have been seen elevated with advertising banners hanging from them. This is never to be done. Such items can act like the sail on a ship and catch the wind and can easily result in a tip-over. 9. Presence of unauthorized persons. 10. Other possible unsafe conditions. Pre-start inspection. Performing a pre-start inspection and daily routine maintenance is the responsibility of you, the operator. It is a visual inspection in order to recognize anything that may be wrong prior to operation. It is to be done daily before your shift. It's your responsibility as an operator to use the pre-start checklist located in the operator's manual of the specific machine you're operating. In order to demonstrate a pre-start inspection, we'll use a boom-type lift. From the ground, here are things to visually inspect. Locate the operator's manual and ANSI Manual of Responsibilities. They are a permanent part of the aerial work platform. The responsibility is yours as an operator to read them before operating. They contain all the inspection checkpoints and operator's responsibilities of the specific aerial work platform you will be operating. Ensure the annual inspection decal is in place, legible, and current. Inspect, read, understand, and obey all safety decals. As we discussed earlier in the video, these decals display important warnings in order to prevent serious injury or death. Ensure proper fluid level for the battery and inspect for leaks. Ensure proper level of engine coolant and inspect for leaks. Ensure proper level of engine oil and inspect for leaks. Ensure proper level of hydraulic oil and inspect for leaks. The following areas and components need to be inspected for missing or improperly installed parts, damage, or modifications not authorized by the manufacturer. Hydraulic and fuel tanks. Turntable and drive motors and drive hubs. Wiring and electric cables and all electrical components. Hydraulic cylinders, hoses, manifolds, and fittings. All fasteners like nuts and bolts. Beacons and alarms if so equipped. All wear pads such as axle and boom. Wheels and tires. Platform entry gate, mid-rail, and entire guardrail assembly. Any latch doors and compartment covers. Horn and any limit switches. Engine compartment and components. The entire aerial work platform needs to be checked for the following: any damage to the lift, any cracks in welds or any structural parts. All hardware, bolts, pins, and fasteners are properly tightened and in place. Doors, covers, and their latches work properly. If during the pre-start inspection or function test you notice any damages, leaks, or malfunctions, please notify your supervisor and immediately tag the machine and remove the key so no one attempts to operate it until all repairs have been made by authorized personnel. Function test. Performing a complete function test of the aerial work platform is the responsibility of the operator. It's designed to recognize any malfunction prior to full operation. It's to be done daily before your shift. It's your responsibility as an operator to use the function test checklist located in the operator's manual of the specific machine you're operating. In preparation for the function test, we want to ensure your safety by discussing the use of personal protective equipment and personal fall protection. Personal protective equipment is often a hard hat, safety glasses, work gloves, and a safety vest. OSHA requires that employers must provide personal protective equipment to their workers and ensure its proper use. In addition to personal protective equipment, aerial work platforms require the use of personal fall protection. Earlier in the video, we mentioned that falls are one of the more common aerial work platform accidents. Most falls involving aerial work platforms can be traced to operator error and/or improper use. With a proper plan to prevent falls before they happen and the use of personal fall protection, you can protect against the following potential fall hazards: occupant not wearing personal fall protection or not attached to the anchor points. Occupant is ejected or catapulted from the boom lift when struck by another vehicle or object or moves unexpectedly. Occupant climbs on guardrails or out of the platform. Occupant reaches beyond the edge of the platform. Platform component failure due to improper maintenance or inspection. Personal fall protection comes in a few forms: The first is the guardrail assembly on all types of aerial work platforms. They're designed to keep the occupants within the platform. Every aerial work platform manufactured in the USA must meet strict ANSI standards when designing the guardrail systems. On a boom-type lift, a harness and lanyard is required by OSHA. Every occupant, whether you are the operator or a co-worker in the platform, must wear a body harness and lanyard, and it must be properly anchored to the specified anchor point on the boom lift being used. In order to maintain their service life, your personal harness and lanyard must be inspected frequently and be part of your daily routine. Most harness and lanyard manufacturers state that under normal conditions, your harness and lanyard has a life expectancy of 5 years. However, if during inspection you notice any cuts, missing, or worn parts are found, the equipment must be replaced as per OSHA regulations. Some lanyards provide fall or rest and are longer in order to allow more mobility on the work platform. They're designed with a deceleration or shock absorber device that softens the impact if an occupant is ejected from the platform. When fall or rest is used, it must have the assurance that a fall will not allow the operator to contact a lower surface or free fall, which is the falling effect before the deceleration device activates, more than 6 feet. Other lanyards provide fall restraint and are shorter than those with fall arrest. They do not have any deceleration device and are designed so that the operator cannot be ejected from the work platform. In some parts of the world, occupants are required to wear a harness and lanyard on scissor-type lifts, which is why you may see the manufacturer's specified anchorage point on scissor-type lifts you operate. This is not a regulation in the United States. However, your employer may require that you do use a harness and lanyard on scissor-type lifts. Regardless of which type of aerial work platform you may be operating, when using a harness and lanyard, the lanyard must be anchored to the specified anchorage point. Never anchor yourself to any other place on the aerial work platform. Let's begin our function test. When conducting the function test, always do so in an area free of hazards and instructions, and the surface is firm and level. Please remember, it's your responsibility as an operator to use the function test list located in the operator's manual of the specific machine you're operating. From the ground controls of a boom-type lift, pull out the emergency red stop buttons at both the ground and platform controls, and start the engine. Test the red emergency stop button. Push it into the off position. The engine should turn off. Pull out the red emergency stop button and restart the engine. Test the aerial lift functions. Press and hold the function enable button. Run the lift through each function. Raise and lower. Extend out and in. Rotate the base. Rotate the platform. Raise and lower the platform. Now, do not press the function enable button and attempt to perform a function. You should have no functions that operate. Test the auxiliary or emergency controls. The emergency controls are designed to operate the aerial work platform in case of engine failure or injury to the operator on the platform. Turn off the engine and pull out the red emergency button, but do not start the engine. Press and hold the emergency power button while operating each boom function. Each function should operate. Test the tilt sensor. Turn the key to platform controls. Do not start the engine. Locate the tilt sensor level near the base structure of the engine compartment. Pull the tilt sensor in order to simulate the lift being out of level. If operating properly, an alarm will be heard from the platform. From the platform controls, be sure the red emergency stop button is pulled out at the ground controls and the key switch is turned to the platform position. Properly enter the platform by facing the machine and using the 3-point contact method, which means 2 hands and 1 foot, or 1 hand and 2 feet are in contact with the machine when entering or exiting. Be sure to secure your lanyard to an approved anchorage point. Start the engine. Test the red emergency stop button. Push it in to the off position. The engine should turn off. Pull out the red emergency stop button and restart the engine. Test the function enable foot switch. Turn the engine off by pushing in the red emergency stop button. Press down on the foot switch and try to start the engine. It should not start. Do not press down on the foot switch and try to start the engine. It should start. Test the aerial lift functions. Press down on the foot switch. Run the lift through each function. Raise and lower. Extend out and in. Rotate the base. Rotate the platform. Raise and lower the platform. Test the steering by moving the steer control in both directions. Test the drive and braking functions by moving the drive control handle forward. Release the handle and the machine should stop. Test the horn. Test the limited drive speed. Press down the foot switch and extend the boom out 4 to 6 feet. Move the drive control handle forward and the machine should only drive in its low speed mode. Retract the boom. Press down the foot switch and raise the boom 2 to 4 feet above horizontal. Move the drive control handle forward and the machine should only drive in its low speed mode. Lower the boom. Test the drive enable functions. Before we test the next function, let us explain its purpose. Because boom type lifts are often able to rotate 360 degrees, sometimes an operator may forget which way they're facing when they go to drive the aerial work platform. The machine is equipped with colored arrow decals on the base structure and the platform control to communicate which way is forward and which way is reverse. Most manufacturers take this into account and let you drive in any direction, but they want to ensure you know which direction you're truly facing and that you drive the lift in the desired direction. Press down the foot switch and rotate the boom at least 90 degrees. The drive enable indicator light should begin to blink. Move the drive control handle forward. You should not move. Push and hold the drive enable button and move the drive control handle forward. The machine should drive in the direction of the colored decal on the boom and platform controls. Test the auxiliary or emergency controls. Turn off the engine and pull out the red emergency button, but do not start the engine. Press and hold the emergency power button while operating each boom function. Each function should operate. We just learned the proper way to perform a function test on a boom type lift. When performing a function test on any other type of aerial work platform, it's your responsibility as an operator to use the function test checklist in the operator's manual of the specific make and model machine you are directed to operate. If during the pre-start inspection or function test you notice any damages, leaks, or malfunctions, please notify your supervisor and immediately tag the machine and remove the key so no one attempts to operate it until all repairs have been made by authorized personnel. In Section 2, the primary objectives we discussed were the 3 items that OSHA and ANSI require you as an operator to do daily prior to using your aerial work platform. First is performing a workplace inspection in order to recognize and avoid hazards before use. Second is performing a pre-start inspection by visually looking at your aerial work platform to be sure there are no issues before use. And third is the function test, in which you operate each function to ensure they work properly. Please remember that if any damage, leaks, or malfunctions are recognized, you must tag the machine with a Do Not Operate tag and remove the keys so no one attempts to operate an unsafe aerial work platform. Lastly, always use the three-point contact method to safely enter or exit an aerial work platform. Remember, as an aerial work platform operator, always wear your personal protective equipment and a harness and lanyard on a boom-type lift. Now, let's move on to the next quiz. Okay, we've completed a workplace and pre-start inspection, as well as a function test. Now let's discuss some safe operating procedures as you drive, position, and work at height on your aerial work platform. Now, we will discuss aerial work platform instability, driving procedures, positioning your aerial work platform, and working at height. Caution, safety, and good judgment must always precede each movement. You and only you are in control of the machine. Your decisions when operating must conform to all regulations, standards, workplace safety rules, and practices. By continual focus on these safe operating procedures, you protect yourself and your coworkers. Let's begin with aerial work platform instability. We spoke of accident data and the most common types of accidents that occur on aerial work platforms. Tip-overs and falls are usually caused by the lift being unstable. As an operator, it takes planning and common sense to ensure your work activity on or around any type of aerial work platform will not affect the stability of the machine prior to any movement. Some of the factors that may cause instability are, but not limited to, ground and surface conditions. The ground and surface conditions must always be inspected in order to identify any hazards and to ensure the work surface can withstand the weight of the aerial work platform. Some items to inspect are drop-offs or holes covered by plywood, water, ice, or mud, metal grates, manhole covers, underground culverts, loose, soft, or wet ground, inadequate ground support, such as a raised floor found in a gymnasium or computer room, workplace debris, slopes and grades. You must know the grade ability and side slope rating of the specific aerial work platform you are operating. This information is listed in the operator's manual. If you must travel on a slope, always travel at a 90-degree angle to the slope. If you must drive at an angle on a slope, never exceed the side slope rating listed in the operator's manual. Side force. All aerial work platforms have a side force rating. Side force is the pushing or pulling of external force causing side pressure or force on the platform, such as pulling or tugging on materials. Hanging items outside the platform, such as tools, materials, or signs, and may cause a tip over or fall. Leaning items up against the base or platform, such as materials or ladders. Using the lift as a crane. Pushing or pulling any objects with the aerial work platform. Tying off any structure adjacent to the lift. You must read, understand, and obey the maximum allowable side force rating of the specific aerial work platform you're operating. Platform capacity. All aerial work platforms have weight and load limitations. The maximum rated load capacity is the maximum weight and maximum occupants allowed on the platform of your lift. Every aerial work platform has a decal on the platform stating the capacity. This weight may be a combination of occupants and materials, or just occupants. You must never exceed the weight or occupant limit stated on the manufacturer's decal and in the operator's manual. This is especially important when using the slide-out deck option on a scissor lift. Never have any object on or in the platform that exceeds the size of the platform. Always distribute the weight on the platform evenly in order to remain stable. Uses of attachments. Aerial lift manufacturers have designed various attachments to help increase productivity and safety. Only attachments authorized by the manufacturer found in the operator's manual of the specific lift you are operating are to be used. Never use any unapproved attachment, as no modification affecting capacity, stability, and safe operation is to be used. Driving procedures. Earlier in the video, we inspected the workplace for hazards. It is your job as an operator to avoid these hazards as you drive and position your aerial work platform to your work area. As discussed earlier, use your three-point contact method to enter the platform. When driving, be sure guardrail is in position and access gate closes and secures properly behind you. Maintain firm footing and proper hand placement. Always keep all arms, legs, and other body parts within the platform to prevent accidental injury. Always travel in the lowest position reasonably possible. Always face the direction you're traveling. Continually scan your path as you travel. Maintain a safe distance from drop-offs, holes, ramps, changes in grades, and workplace debris. Always stop, steer, and drive smoothly, as any sudden or abrupt actions will affect the stability of your aerial work platform. Observe all traffic regulations at your workplace, such as speed limits, safe following distances, and rules regarding stunt driving and horseplay. Watch for hazards and other vehicles, especially emergency vehicles. Use extra caution around pedestrians. Always allow them the right of way in order to avoid an accident or injury. When driving around blind corners, honk your horn to make sure other vehicles and pedestrians are aware of your presence. If needed, Utilize a spotter to assist with visibility. If you need to travel on a slope, refer to the operator's manual of the specific aerial work platform you're operating in order to remain within the manufacturer's slope rating. Check overhead clearance when passing through doorways to avoid a crushing accident to you or damage to the doorway and machine. Also, allow time for your eyes to adjust to different lighting. Positioning your aerial work platform. Secure your work area using items such as cones, barricades, or caution tape to warn others of your work. This is especially important when working on or near any highways or streets in order to prevent any possible collisions or accidents with any pedestrians or other vehicles. Position your aerial work platform as close to your work as possible to limit the need to reach or extend. Deploy any stabilizing devices prior to raising your aerial work platform, such as outriggers or extendable axles, to avoid a tip over or fall if so equipped, and use spreader pads underneath outriggers when appropriate to help distribute the load more evenly. Look up and all around before and during platform ascension to avoid being caught in or between an object. When ascending to your work area, raise the main boom section first and extend out last in order to remain as stable as possible. As you near your work area, approach by keeping your body and the platform controls opposite the work area in order to avoid a crushing or collision hazard. It's important to feather your controls the closer you get to the work in order to avoid abrupt or jerky movement that could result in a crushing or collision hazard. Before lowering the platform, gather and secure any tools or materials evenly on the platform. Look down and all around before and during the descending of the platform. Retract any outriggers or stabilizers before driving to avoid an accident or damage to the aerial work platform. Prior to driving, be sure you know which direction your aerial work platform is facing by matching the directional arrows on the platform controls to the base structure of your aerial work platform and utilizing the drive enable function as needed. Working at height. Once you have safely positioned yourself at your work area, please take these working at height practices into consideration. Shut off your aerial work platform to avoid any accidental movement. If you need to gain more height, reposition yourself. Never use any object to gain height from the work platform, such as a ladder or standing on the guardrail structure. This is extremely unsafe and may cause a fall or tip over. Never exit the elevated platform unless the operator's manual of the specific machine you're operating allows it, and if so, follow the procedures accordingly. Do not hang any objects over the side of the platform, such as power cords, rope, or welding cable. Such items may become entangled in the aerial platform and possibly result in a tip over. The aerial work platform should never rest against or be tied to another structure or object to gain stability. This may create excessive side force and may result in a fall or tip over. If your aerial work platform ever becomes snagged, be sure to safely remove all occupants prior to freeing the snag machine in order to avoid a possible tip-over accident of a manned aerial work platform. Never climb down the scissor arms or boom lattice of any aerial work platform for any reason, as it may result in serious injury or death. In order to continually operate your aerial work platform safely, here are some of the primary objectives discussed in Section 3. First, we discussed aerial work platform instability and that ground and surface conditions, slopes and grades, side force, and platform capacity can affect the stability of an aerial work platform. When you are driving your aerial work platform at your workplace, please be sure the safety gate or safety chain is securely closed behind you. Maintain firm footing and proper hand placement on the platform. Travel in the lowest position possible, and always face the direction you're traveling. When positioning your aerial work platform at your work area, Remember to secure the work area utilizing safety cones or caution tape. Always position your aerial work platform as close to the work area as possible, and as you ascend, be sure to continually look up and all around. Also, remember to raise the main boom first and extend out last on a boom-type lift. Once you are at your working height, be sure to turn the lift off to avoid any accidental movement. You must never use any object, such as a ladder or standing on the guardrails, to gain additional height, and never climb down the scissor arms or boom arm of a raised platform for any reason. Now, let's move on to our next quiz. Additional safety practices. As we near the end of this safety video, there are just a few more safety practices that you as an operator must know and do. Refueling and battery charging guidelines. The following safety guidelines should be followed when refueling or charging the batteries on your aerial work platform. Shut down the engine. Wear your appropriate personal protective equipment, especially around batteries in case of an acid leak. Never smoke in any designated refueling or battery charging area. Only refuel or recharge batteries in a well-ventilated area, free of flame, sparks, or other hazards that may cause fire or explosion. Only refill propane fuel if you are trained to do so. Obey all cleanup, safe containment, and disposal procedures at your workplace. Safely parking and shutting down your aerial work platform. When it's time to park your aerial work platform, please practice this shutdown sequence. Choose solid, level ground. Lower the aerial work platform to its most compact position. Use wheel chocks if you must park on an incline. Turn your lift off and remove the key to prevent any unauthorized use. Secure any compartment doors to deter vandalism or theft. Don't let the aerial work platform become a hazard. Never block any pathways, fire equipment, doors, or exits. Daily maintenance. Many aerial work platform manufacturers state in their operators' manuals that daily maintenance is the responsibility of the operator. This maintenance often consists of checking the engine oil, hydraulic oil, engine coolant, and battery water, and topping them off as needed. When conducting this portion of your pre-start inspection, please keep these safety guidelines in mind. Select an area free of hazards and obstructions, and the surface is firm and level. Be sure the brakes function, and lower the aerial work platform to its most compact position to take unwanted pressure off of the hydraulic system. Shut down the engine and/or all power to the lift. Chock the wheels. Wear the proper personal protective equipment, especially around batteries. Never disable any signaling or warning devices. They're required by law. workplace emergencies, and rescues. We have discussed aerial work platform accidents throughout this video. The unfortunate odds are that at some point, an accident may occur at your workplace. As an operator, you should know the emergency procedures and rescue plan for your workplace. Please consider the following guidance in case of an emergency in order to quickly respond. Use a buddy system. Check in with each other throughout the day. Consider having a wallet card of all emergency contact phone numbers at your workplace. Know where all workplace first aid kits are kept. Always follow your workplace policy for any accident reporting. Know your role in the event of an emergency that requires an operator to be rescued from an elevated platform, such as assisted rescue. This is a rescue performed by a coworker in the event the operator on the platform is unable to safely lower themselves for any reason. This is done by being sure a coworker on the ground is properly trained on the use of all emergency lowering devices.
Thank you.
Professional rescue. This is a rescue conducted by professional first responders, like police and fire departments. This type of rescue is to be done when an assisted rescue is no longer an option, such as when the aerial work platform makes contact with an energized power line. It is very important to know the physical address of your workplace should you ever need to call 911. The primary objective in Section 4 is additional safety practices as an aerial work platform operator. When it's time to refuel or recharge the batteries on your aerial work platform, please always remember to shut off the engine, wear the proper PPE, and never smoke in any refueling or recharging area. When it's time to park and shut down your aerial work platform at the end of your shift, choose solid level ground and remember to lower the aerial work platform to its most compact position. Once this is done, it's time to turn off the machine and remove the key to prevent any unauthorized use. When performing aerial work platform maintenance, the safety practices we mentioned were: select an area free of hazards and lower the lift as much as possible before working on the machine. During maintenance, you must wear the proper PPE and never disable any warning devices. Finally, we spoke of accidents at the workplace, and when a workplace emergency does arise, it is very helpful to know the location of first aid kits and the address of your workplace. In addition, please be sure to have a coworker at ground level who knows how to use the emergency lowering controls. And lastly, keep a current list of emergency phone numbers for your workplace. Now, let's move on to the next quiz.
Thank you for taking the time to better understand the hazards associated with operating this type of equipment. Our hope here at Sun State Equipment is for each of you to identify and avoid these hazards so you and your coworkers go home safely to your loved ones each day. Now it's time to take the written test on the theories covered in this video. Once the test is graded and a passing score is verified, you will head outside to perform a practical, hands-on evaluation. Thank you and good luck.